Hello from Windcrest Farm. I'm Mary Roberts, and we are here in Monroe, North Carolina, a USDA certified organic farm. So this is pretty much almost a year-round process. We place our order for the seed, which looks a little bit like something that you get in the grocery store. We place that in November, and then it comes to us from Hawaii in late February, early March. The seed is specifically grown to be seed. It's grown from tissue culture, and then the farm that it grows on is in Hawaii, right near the National Volcanic Park. So to grow those plants out, they put them in grow bags with coconut coir, and they grow them out over lava beds so they don't touch the soil until they come to us, because they can pick up disease. And so we invest in the certified organic, certified disease-free seed, so we're not importing any diseases into our soils from seed sources. So when folks say that they'll go to Whole Foods and get a certified organic ginger and sprout it and put it in the ground, and you can do that. That ginger that is sold for culinary purposes is not certified disease-free. It's not that it would hurt you, but it's not going to provide the yields as something that was developed for seed. And like I said, it might infect your soil with some kind of disease. So we make sure that we invest in good quality, certified disease-free seed each year. So when it gets to us, we put it in the warm greenhouse. Ginger needs to stay, the ginger root needs to stay at 55 degrees and rising. And so when we get it in March, we've got it in the greenhouse, we put it in trays, and what we want is that seed piece to start sprouting, because we don't have a long enough growing season in North Carolina to grow it all the way out to maturity. So this is the mature seed. And this is very fibrous. It's got a hard skin you would peel like you do when you get a mature ginger out of the grocery store. But we are harvesting now in October, which is a little bit late for us since we had a cool, long spring. Usually we start in September. And we harvest it at what's called baby stage. So it hasn't formed that hard rind. This is 1 year's growth out of that little piece, or 1 season's growth rather. Planted in May in the ground when the ground is getting warm, and that little piece produced this much ginger. And the whole plant is edible. The stalks we can use to flavor anything that we're cooking with a broth, like rice or soup. We save the seeds and dry them for teas. This ginger, if you've ever had pickled ginger or candied ginger, this is the stage of growth that they're using, rather than the hard fibrous root. Now the mature ginger is a little spicier, but we think that the fresh baby ginger is a little sweeter with still that kind of ginger kick to it. So this is called a ginger hand. Better example. So this entire thing is called a hand, and the seed piece was attached right here. And initially it sends up this one big stalk. We kind of call it its solar panel. And once we see this stalk come up, we know that everything is going good underground. And these are called ginger fingers. So you break these fingers off. There's several ways that you can preserve it. Most of our folks are freezing it for the year, because this harvest only comes around once a year, and it freezes beautifully. You can also, as I said before, pickle it, candy it. I put it in the food processor and puree it, pour some vodka over it, and keep it in the refrigerator for up to a year. So it's a good medicinal to have on hand. And I can, see, that's got a little bit of a soft spot on it, but it's still got a good grow point on it. Usually, if there's something wrong with that rhizome, it won't make it through the winter. I mean, it'll just disintegrate. Now, normally we would have come back in here and hilled it up, taken soil out of the aisleways and hilled it up, and this would be much higher. This year, because we had such a long, cool spring, we were about a month behind. And so, unfortunately, we're not seeing as good a yield as we have in the past 9 years. This is our 10th year growing. But, 2020 has been a pretty unusual year, so I'm just thrilled that we have what we have, and it will be plenty to serve the customers that, have been buying from us basically since year 2. Year 1, nobody knew what this was because you don't see it. You didn't see it. It was a new specialty crop in United States. And so people were like, what is that? And it was like, it's ginger. Oh, you plant it, because we had the whole plant. No, you eat it. So the second year, now we had some folks that were, knew what it was. And every year we have doubled our planting for the past 10 years. So there's that mother piece, right? That what we call the mother piece, or seed piece. And you can see how it's attached. And these roots we pull back off and let them compost in the soil, because there's lots of good stuff in there. And we want to leave as much soil in the tunnels. We don't want to be taking it back to the packing shed. We invest quite a bit in our soil, and we want to leave it here. We find that ginger and turmeric have been great rotational crops for us, because what will happen after these come out is we do onion transplants for farmers and gardeners all over the country. So as soon as this comes up, we prep the beds, and I'll be seeding about 60,000 onion seeds, 6 different varieties. And those will grow in here over the winter. But we find no matter what crop it is that follows the ginger and turmeric, it really seems to give a boost. And I'm not sure if it's because we feed it so heavily that I have residual nutrients in the soil, or, we know that plants give back to the soil just like they take, And so ginger and turmeric are such healthy plants for us. I'm wondering if those exudates, it's giving back to that good microbial population, and just giving a good boost to the next crop.
So you were saying, Mary, that you look for this bright color.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm at the market, if I'm one of your customers, what does that tell me? What is that something that I look for as a customer?
Yeah, absolutely, because as this is out of the ground, every 24 hours you'll start to see it getting duller. Now that doesn't mean that it's not good. In fact, it can stay on your kitchen counter for 2 weeks and still be perfectly good. But what happens is it naturally starts to form a skin, and that's a little duller than this brightness. So when I'm delivering this to customers, they're picking it up here at the farm, or when we were at the Matthews Market, we would be harvesting this in less than 24 hours of giving it to the customer.
And folks would come here and pick it up, or it would be sold at the market, just that quickly.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah. Well, I don't want to take it out of the ground, because it starts to not look as pretty. It's still good, but you want the best you can present.